They are 2 and 3 wide behind him. Crossover, that's
comes.
Austin Hill in the 21. Big crash, up and over.
Hey everyone, I'm back with my first Diecast review of 2022, and this is actually my 50th Diecast review altogether. I started doing Diecast reviews back in 2014, and it took me this long just to get up to a 50th one. Well, if you see my videos in the past, you already know that once you see the opening clip, you know what the review is going to be about, or if you just read the title. So let's get into it. Here it is. This is Myatt Snider's 2022 Daytona Crash, or wrecked version, whatever it's called, wrecked version, from when he flew into the fence on the final lap and basically flipped over and completely destroyed the car. So yeah, this one, when I made this, probably, let's just say this is the easiest thing for me to make. I honestly got this done in literally an hour and a half. That's how long it took me. That's how long it took me to get this thing done. Probably the quickest it ever made. Probably the quickest it ever took me to make a diecast like this. When it comes to making like wrecked or race versions. So like the decals right here, they were basically. I mean, I didn't design the paint scheme, so credit goes out to whoever designed the paint scheme. But my buddy was able to like make the decals for me, sent me the decals, and I was able to apply it to the car. So you have the 31 for Jordan Anderson Racing, what's left of the tax layer logo here on the side. The hood right here says tax layer. Right side, you have the YER left from tax layer. The 31 again, 31 on the roof, tax layer on the roof. The new windshield banner for 2022 with the purple Xfinity logo instead of like the normal black logo that they always had on the roof. I mean, the windshield. I don't know why I just said roof. On the rear windshield, you have where it says Snider for the driver, who is Myatt Snider. This crash, when I saw it live on TV, I'm telling you, my heart was pounding like repetitively for like 2 hours after the race ended. Like, I was just in shock when I saw that crash, because I knew that they weren't going to make it back to the line without crashing, but I didn't think somebody was going to get turned and basically do a Ricky Bobby style blowover and go flying into the freaking fence. But when I look at that crash, people say that was like a mixture of Tony Stewart's flip from 2001 and Kyle Larson's 2013 catch fence crash. Honestly, I don't see it really being much of the Tony Stewart flip, because you got to remember, when Tony flipped, his car got turned, it blew over, but it landed on top of Robbie Gordon's car. Snider didn't even land on anybody's car. He just turned, blew over, and then hit the fence. So honestly, I think it was a mixture of Steve Kinter's IROC flip and Kyle Larson's 2013 crash. Because when Kinter blew over, he just lifted up and flipped onto his roof, when Larson just basically hit the fence. Larson didn't flip over, though. Snider, when he was blowing over, he pretty much blew over in the exact same angle and almost in the exact same spot as Kinter. Obviously, I don't have the diecast of the actual cars to basically do like a recreation so I can explain to you what I'm talking about. But if you've seen those crashes, you probably get what I'm saying. The detail in this car, though, this car was pretty much gone in the crash. I mean, what was left was the most important part of the car, was the main roll cage, the window net, the doors and the windshield. Everything stayed intact in the driver's compartment, and Myatt was able to basically climb out unscathed. I think he said he had like soreness or something in his leg, or like a few bruises. I don't remember. I think it was something like that. The quarter panels and the fenders were completely torn off. So was the fuel cell of the car. All that remained was like one little hose, which I took from like one of the old like Action Elite 164s that I had lying around, and I just glued it to the back. I cut the entire back off with my Dremel, which is like an electric cutting tool. If you ever make custom die-cast and you ever want to make like a wrecked one, a Dremel is like the best tool to use. It cuts through pretty much anything. I detailed the undercarriage right here. The front end for the front suspension I took from one of those Elite 164s. The engine was completely torn out. So literally the engine bay was left intact, but the engine itself was gone. And honestly, that's kind of blows my mind. It's the fact that the entire engine bay was still there, but the engine was just gone. The hood, I cut it off the car and I attached it with like one of those tethers that come from like the what do you call it? Like those Elite 124s from like the early 2000s where it had like all the hood tethers and everything. So I took a tiny piece of that and glued it to one end of the car and one end to the hood. I cut one of the hood flaps out because that's what it looked like in the crash, and the other section was just torn off. And then what remained of the four wheels was just this one little wheel. The side window was blown out in the crash, I believe, so I cut that out of the car. And so pretty much the windshield is still there. The roof is still intact. Honestly, surprisingly, the roof didn't even have a single scratch on it from what I saw, which is pretty amazing. And the fact that Myatt climbed out unscathed was just amazing. It just goes to show the safety has come a long way in NASCAR over the years. And I think it's also kind of crazy too that a piece of like the front suspension or something, I think I read, I don't know if it was the front suspension or whatever the piece was, torpedoed through the catch fence and basically landed in the grill, I think, of Michael Jordan's bus or something that was parked on the backstretch. Like if you watch the replay, you can actually see like Jordan's entourage that he had with him just standing by the fence and like basically running for cover. And then there was another thing I saw, that another piece of this car, I don't know what piece it was, it pretty much like impaled, I think it was J.J. Yaley's car, it impaled like the rear deck lid of his car. It just goes to show the violence of the crash itself. So I mean, other than that, there's really nothing else to review about this car. I went over pretty much every detail there was. So I'm going to wrap up the video there. If any of you, like my custom diecast, if you ever have like a request of a custom like wrecked version or raced win that you want me to make and you want me to see review, just comment it below. If you can like, comment, subscribe to my channel, it helps me out a lot. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching.